We're back at Desi's Raceway. This time it's a beautiful winter's morning. It's round 3 of the KZN Road Racing Club Championships. It's an absolute beautiful day down here on the south coast. As we're about to go racing on this magnificent day, let's cross to Len van der Westhuizen in the sound booth.
As the lights go out there, the bikes head on down to turn 1. We're with the motards right now, and the man who qualified number 1 spot there into turn 1 there, that is a Hein Etzel, about 2 bike lengths ahead of the man chasing him down in the championship there, Craig Bishop in the KTM Durban machine. And it's once again pretty close stuff going on there. Hein Etzel there, Craig Bishop there, Leon Smith having a good ride there in that third position there. So as the bikes approach, Hillbilly and the sweep, we see very, very determined looking man up front there, Durban KTM entry there, Craig Bishop, looking very, very racy there as he chases down the gap between himself and Hein. 38 points there, and he wants to narrow it out there, and looking really, really strong up front there. Back in 4th position now, the man who heads up the championship, courtesy of running wide at turn 7, down to 4th place here, Hein Etzel. So at the moment there, we're looking at the Craig Bishop leading Leon Smith there, Ryan Matchett in 3rd place. 3 riders that can certainly hold good place there, but can they keep the champion behind? Down in 4th place there, Hein Etzel, no doubt realising that he's got to get himself back up front there, leading the championship. He has not lost a race there. 6 heats, 6 wins at this stage. Down in 4th place for Hein Etzel is not acceptable. Well, they're already making the pass there on Ryan Matchett. Up to 3rd place he goes. And now problems there for the man up front there. Craig Bishop there, no doubt doesn't have to look back. He can hear the champion on his tail there right now. Hein Etzel there chasing down the man who's hot on his tail in the championship there, Craig Bishop.
Cross to Len down in the pits chatting with Hein Etzel.
Right, so running 2 classes today, Formula Extreme A and Motards. King man here today. All the fans here supporting you.
Yeah, the day's been awesome. I managed to get the win in the motard class, narrowly from Craig Bishop, but it's been an awesome day so far.
We start of race 2. We go on board with Justin Matthew.
Lights out, race 2 underway. I mean, great start there, Craig Bishop. But in the Masters there, a great start there by championship leader Justin Matthew. Let's cross to Mike, chatting to 2nd in the Masters Championship there, Klaus Etzel.
Well, I started as a youngster. First race car was an oval straight 8 Valiant. When I decided to start racing with a family, the boys were old enough, all jumped onto motocross, endurocross, and then we raced superbikes on the track days. So the wife is involved, Yvette, all 3 boys, we're all here winning and breaking records.
So we're back on board there with Justin Matthew, the man there with great riding style. They're leading the championship in the Masters by 28 points as he heads on chasing down Cameron van der Nest, looking rock solid there in the motard second heat. So race 2 there, Hein Etzel opting to start way back down the field there, to put more of a challenge for himself. And here we see him there work his way through the field and catching up to race leader Craig Bishop on the KTM. Well, that was going to be a nail-biting finish because to the number 1 and number 2 contenders for the championship there, when they're out on track there to taking on each other, it's always going to be a great race. Hein Etzel, very difficult keeping back, but Craig Bishop doing an amazing job there. But racing to the flag there was nobody on the pace there of the incredibly quick Hein Etzel, championship leader, pulling off an incredible win. See the retros coming out on track for race 1. Well, you might have noticed that the modified C class, because of the fast growing numbers in the modified saloons, joining in at the back. It will be a staggered start. The lights go out there and the modified C head off down turn 1, and a great start there by championship leader Gary Brown on the escort. Now we pick up on the rolling start there for the retros. Great start there from Red Sutton there, who has Manfred Schroeder right on his tail there.
I'm with Rory Nossiter, 2018 retro champion. Rory, this year not going that great for you. Tell me what's going on, man.
Yeah, it looks like we used up all of our luck in 2018. I missed the first meeting, so last meeting was my first meeting. Unfortunately, it didn't go to plan. We developed a misfire. We managed to finish both races, get a few points, but yeah, certainly we're lagging. But qualifying's gone well this morning, so let's hope and pray for a good day today.
Gary Brown leading, Lee Branders there, and Dave Burton slotted in third place. Oh, an incident happening behind there with Barry Liggins and the Hayden Dart being clipped there by Dave Burton in the Mark 1 Golf, and Zaid Hassam narrowly escaping there, managing to squeeze through.
Right, I'm standing with Barry Higgins. He's racing a modified C and this yellow dot behind me.
It's a Hayden Dart built by Henry Fave. It won the Pekiso 3 hour a few years ago. The car's built for endurance, so it finishes all the races. Came second in class last year, so I'm hoping to get back up to first this year.
They're racing to the line now for that second position there. It's a race between Lee Branders there and Zaid Hassam there, with the Lee Branders taking it. Right, here we are on the last lap and racing to the line. Red Sutton looking rock solid up front there, but keeping a watchful eye on the hard-charging Vaughan Robertson in second place, both Class D entries. And then the race into Class E, Daryl Mann holding off Rory Nossiter. Start of race 2 there sees Gary Brown getting another great start there alongside Lee Branders, but down turn 1 there it was Zaid Hassam up the inside to take on second position.
Here's Len chatting with Manfred Schroeder.
Today you stepped it up a few notch, second quickest in qualifying.
And it went well. Unfortunately, the other off-roader, Red Sutton, beat me by 0.06 of a second, but yeah, the dice will be on.
Bad luck for Meredith Willis there, the man that usually runs in the top 3, but losing oil pressure there, finding a motor tightening up there, had to do an engine swap between race 1 and 2. A Class G drag race down to turn 1 there between the Renault of Arthur Egger and the Alpha of Paul Manigold.
Right, here we are standing with the Class C, modified Class C championship leader, 95 points, Gary, after 2 rounds, looking pretty solid there.
We're pretty much there. Motor's running fine. I'm very, very happy. Everything is going sweet. No problems.
Oh, Troy Morgan Edwards chasing in the championship, but he is on 65 points, so it's 30 points behind you. So you've got a safety cushion there, and just your strategy for the rest of the year?
Just tidy, keep it on the black stuff, and just go for it.
Race 1, 150s there, off the line they go, racing down turn 1. Jesse Conchi there, right up in the mix there with Sean Joffe and Lee Singh. And a great battle developing there between Llewellyn Purin and Sanjeev Singh.
Sean Joffe lying first in the championship at the moment in the 150 class. Tell me about these machines.
Yeah, what we've done here is we decided to be a little bit different to all the other guys that are on the 150s. We got 50 chassis and put 85 two-stroke motors in. Yeah, just a lot of customizing and making it work, eh?
And your team here, you got 3 different bikes here?
Yeah, there's 3 of us. Mine's actually got a Yamaha YZ85 motor, and then the other 2 have got KTM 85 motors in there.
So this is basically to make racing affordable.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, some of the bigger bikes you have to put new tyres every race, whereas these we put a set of tyres beginning of the year and they last the whole year, so it's definitely more affordable.
Lee Singh with some great riding style there, picked up no doubt from watching MotoGP and his famous dad there, getting those knee scrapers working. Right, so coming out of the Dunlop South Loop there in the 150 duel there, we see a great scrap there with Roy Hallett on bike 80 there, holding off the challenge there from Martin Ostner and Stanley Nclela. Watch the 150s coming out to line up for race 2. Vince de Bock on the 99 machine carrying the onboard camera.
Sanjeev Singh, you leading the 150 Masters. I see that both you and your son both race.
I've been lucky enough to be racing now for almost 30 years. And Lee started racing bicycle on BMX and mountain bikes, and then started motocross racing.
Now, in our very first show, or it was the end of last year, you guys had a bit of an accident. Was that the 2 of you together?
That's right. He stalled on the start, and I cleaned him out from the back. But he got his revenge at the first race this year, where we had a good tussle, but he got the better of me by the finish line.
152nd heat getting underway, and here we see Sean Joffe there get a great start there from the second position there on the front row. He's now got the lead there with that Yamaha powered 2-stroke motor under the tank there. As you see him really go hard there, knowing that he's got a free run with Conchi putting it down in turn 13, the man who started from pole, and it was not to be at the drop of the checkered flag, because Joffrey only managed to come through in third place. At the end of the day there, it was Joffrey took the overall win from Jesse Conchi in second, and Lee Singh taking that third place. We move to sports cars and super GTs. They're coming out on track there well. A small field of 10 competitors, but 10 super highly qualified competitors that we knew would go door handle to door handle.
Right, I'm standing with Dave Robbie. You got a very interesting vehicle here behind me. Tell me a little bit about it, Dave.
It's a little homemade space frame I built probably 12 years ago. And I ran a standard Buzzer motor for probably 10 years of that, and the last 2 years we turbocharged it, and we're running as turbocharged now.
Now, what did this vehicle cost at the end of the day to get racing?
Geez, over the years, hard to say, but probably 120.
Now, I believe you're racing against some vehicles of 2, 3, up to 5 million rand.
Yeah, I have fun. I'm in it for the fun. I had fun building it, fun getting it to work. Most of the things you build yourself. So part of the fun is just getting it to go.
We had a good session this morning. We were first out to do a bit in the time challenge, just to see what the track's like and sort of bed in, because I didn't manage to make it for practice yesterday. Last time out, the last meeting, we went very well. Unfortunately, the first meeting I had a radiator leak, so I didn't score that time. Hence, I'm lying fifth, but hopefully we can make an improvement today.
Well, two competitors that certainly the crowd were looking forward to watching there. Stuart Kidgel in the Ultima and Greg Parton in the Lamborghini, experiencing problems with Kidgel suffering a right back suspension failure, and Greg Parton with electrical faults on the Lamborghini.
Right, I'm standing with Duncan Dos Reis. Duncan, you're lying third in the championship at the moment, and that's in Super GT. You're not far away behind the rest of the guys. You've got a bit of work today.
Last year I was very lucky to win the championship. It was down to the wire. This year we're trying to get consistent. I've had a good season so far.
I believe you've won it three in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row, and I think it's consistency. My car's bulletproof. I must say I only had one DNF in the last season, and it's all about consistency and getting the points on the board.
First heat for 300s and Power Sport there. We see the 300s up front there. They start ahead of the Power Sport, and no doubt the fastest growing of all the motorcycle classes.
Blaze Baker. Blaze running the 300 class today. Tell us about it. How's it been going so far?
Yeah, you know, the 300 class has definitely grown a lot over the last couple of years, and to see so many riders coming through into the 300 class and becoming competitive is incredible. And I mean, there's one guy in particular that is making it grow, Ghana Pillay, and he's like bringing all these young and upcoming riders, putting the two teams together, making the competition between the two teams, and yeah, you know, it's incredible.
The action from the bottom of the mine shaft there sees Nikolai Conchi leading Blaze Baker, and poleman Malcolm Rudman slotted in third place there. Both Baker and Conchi GP racing entries.
Right, so here we are talking to team principal, GP Racing, Ghana Pillay. Ghana, not only are you busy riding, focusing on your own bike and your own performances, but you've got two great riders running it with you there. Tell us a little bit about your team.
You know, it was about promoting the club first of all, and you know, KZN has the fastest riders, so it was a no-brainer that we bring in somebody like Malcolm and Blaze to grow the sport in our area. So, you know, they're probably the fastest riders in the country.
Into race 2 there we see Blaze Baker getting a much better start there and holding off the challenge here from Malcolm Rudman there. Third, Nikolai Conchi, and Jesse Conchi coming into the mix there in fourth place.
Nikolai Conchi, you're lying second in the championship in 300 at the moment. I believe you compete in a few other classes. Tell me about that.
This year I'm only in the Supersport 300 class, racing against Malcolm Rudman. It's been awesome fun. Big challenge. We're up against Malcolm, Blaze Baker, national 600 champion. It's a battle down to the last corner every time.
Interesting tussle on the power sport division there. But up front there is always there the master in action, Llewellyn Purim leading, but leaving a serious battle for second place here between Duncan Day and Bruce Cuthbert. So out of the mine shaft there into the dam sweep, we see a great tussle there in the 300 class there with Nikolai Conchi leading Malcolm Rodman and Blaze Baker slotted in third place. And that's the way it would stay right down to the last lap. And eventually Rodman getting the break that he wanted there, got himself up front there, and there was no looking back there. The checker flag went out and Malcolm Rodman was the victor. After a great qualifying here, Malcolm Rodman from pole there, it lights out there, got the hammer down there and raced down turn one there and got that 3 bike length advantage over Hein Etzel, and Dylan Gray slotted into that third position.
Right, so yeah, well, we're talking to Stanley Ndlela, a man that finished second and last the 2018 championship for Formula Extreme. This year, Stanley, keeping it nice and handy, you're in the top 3, and with a chance that we're only at this is the third round of 8. Fancy your chances of a top 3 finish again this year?
Well, yeah, that's the plan. Unfortunately, the first race I missed out, but on the second race I was first in my class. So today I'm also hoping for a similar kind of finish. So the day has been great. The first race is done. My times are looking much better. So yeah, we're hopeful for first place.
Up front there, we see Malcolm Rodman there keeping a watchful eye on the man on his case there as Hein Etzel. Race 2 away there, Rodman standing up on the back wheel there, racing down to turn 1 there, under extreme pressure there, but outbreaks himself there, runs it wide there, and that sees Hein Etzel slip through, bringing Dylan Gray along with him and losing 2 positions back to third for Malcolm Rodman.
Right, so M Project Klebok, we're sitting with their star rider, Mr. Malcolm Rodman. Malcolm, we've loved watching you guys bang bars in the Formula Extreme A out there, and talk us through your first heat.
Yeah, no, Hein and I were having a good ding-dong battle. I mean, Hein he rides very well on the R1. I think he had a little bit of technical issues with the bike at the latter stage of the race, but hopefully he gets it sorted out and him and I can have another one in the second race.
So here we are, there's a race to the finish there on the last lap there. Hein Etzel finds himself up front under pressure from a very, very quick Malcolm Rodman who qualified 1. And he knew he had to really ride on the limits to keep Rodman out. They raced to the line. It was not to be because through the south turn there, it was Rodman made the pass and the victory wheelie that saw him take the number 1 spot. There's always a program there trying to find new talent coming into the sport, especially in motorcycle racing. The mini GPs, they get an opportunity to perform in front of the big crowds there, and they have their own little private South Loop. And taking part there was Gabriel Basson, Riley Day, Riley Purin, Quinn St. John Ward, and Hannah Purin, all sons and daughters of the fathers. So we see the last minute preparation in the pits there for the SuperModifieds there, guys, making sure everything is checked and checked again before they roll out onto the track for race 1. 24 competitors will line up. Remember, Class C has been taken out and they have joined the Retro, so they're out of the mix. It still leaves a huge field of SuperModifieds, Class A, Class B competitors. 10 laps of racing for the SuperModifieds, Modified A's and B's there. We see a great start there from poleman Alton Fuchs there, getting away ahead of Ronald van Rensburg and Shirin Rajpaul in that third position, who started alongside Lee Branders.
Right, I'm standing with John Montanari. He's racing modifieds, and he's been racing for many, many years all over the country.
Well, my life, like most guys, starts in karting, up in Swartkops, and from there I think I bullshitted myself into car racing, and then we came to Durban. And when Desi opened up the circuit, I thought, well, if he's committed to doing this, then we'll buy a little car and run that, and we're running a little golf. It's quite quick, and I think I'm the oldest guy in the class. They used to call me the buddy. They now call me Nitrous Buddy. So, yeah, it's a fun class. It's a fun place to be. When people come here that aren't racing fans and come to Desi, they come back.
Right, so after a great qualifying, Shireen Rajpaul there in the Goldwagen Golf started from the second row of the grid there. Didn't see his luck hold out to the end because halfway through the race he saw his dashboard light up there, pulled over to the side there, lifted the bonnet there, went onto the wall and told the spectators that his fan belt had gone on holiday. So race 2 gets underway there, and we see Paul Tarberton in the newly sponsored EIS Engineering entered Golf Mark 1 leading things out there with Gary Cobbins in the chase. Well, as a lot of fans know that you get out to Desi Raceway frequently, the top 5 from race 1 there start race 2 with an inverted start. So it gives the guys who didn't get away cleanly in race 1 an opportunity to turn things around in race 2. Interesting battle up front there between the two SuperModified entries there. The EIS entered Mark 1 Golf there of Paul Tarberton and Elton Fuchs in the M-Track car there. Well, it was going to be door handle to door handle, chase to the line, and always going to be interesting. We see the 222 car slotted in third place. That is Gary Commons. Nice consistent performance there from Gary, also in that Mark 1 Golf. And while Tarberton runs it wide there through turn 2, Elton Fuchs up the inside there, makes the pass and races to the line to take another win in the car number 2, the M-Track, entered Mark 1 Golf. Time challenges competitors come out on track there. Now, this is an opportunity to get Joe Public involved there. You can enter your private car, come out to Desi Raceway, put your money down, sign the indemnity forms, and go racing. The car does not have to have a roll cage inside. As long as you've got a helmet and you're strapped in safely, you can go race against the clock in time challenge. While a lot of competitors from existing classes like to get out there and run the hot laps there when they're not up against any competitors, but rather chasing down time on the watch. Today's rest day was dedicated to the late Kenny and Rosalind Keane, who were tragically taken from South African motorsport in a road accident.